personality of an individual is analyzed by a three-pronged approach, each one doing so independently. Each of the approaches are termed as techniques. They are the psychological, analyzing the thought, interview, analyzing the speech, and group testing, analyzing the deed or action. Let us go through the activities on your reporting day. Your day of reporting starts with the reception. You have to report to the Movement Control Office at the railway station at 1400 hours on the reporting date. Here, a representative of the selection center manning the reception will receive you. The first organized event at the selection center is the opening address. The duty officer gives an introductory talk, explains matters of administrative details, the do's and don'ts at the selection center. You are required to produce your original certificates for verification and fill up certain forms like the TA form on the reporting day itself. You will also be allotted chest numbers for your stage 1 testing.
Gentlemen, the morning of day 1 begins with the Officer Intelligence Rating Test. The test would start early, so ensure that you have a good night's sleep and wake up in time to be ready for the test. The tests themselves include verbal and non-verbal tests, which require simple and analytical reasoning.
The first test on day 1 is the Picture Perception and Description Test. During this test, a picture is flashed for 30 seconds. The candidates have to broadly note down certain basic parameters, that is, number of characters, age, sex, mood, and thereafter write a story relating to the situation in the picture. A story that could cover what, according to the candidate's perception, led to the situation in the picture, its present and future development. The time allotted for the story to be written down is 4 minutes. The next test is the group discussion, where the picture and your stories would need to be discussed in a group. For this phase, the batch is divided into different groups. The strength of a group is around 15 candidates. To start the group discussion, each candidate would be required to narrate his perception and individual written story. Subsequently, candidates would discuss amongst themselves about the story and achieve a common consensus about the characters and theme of the story. Once all candidates have undergone this stage, the results for stage 1 testing are declared. Successful candidates are retained for stage 2 testing, and the balance are asked to leave after a short brief on general shortcomings.
At the end of day 1, you can expect to find 30 to 80 candidates in the batch retained for further detailed testing.
Dear candidates, the second day sees the onset of testing in earnest and begins with psychological assessment. During this test, 12 pictures including one blank are shown for 30 seconds each, one after the other. Candidates are asked to write a story around the picture shown, covering issues like what led to the situation, what is going on, and what would be the outcome of the situation perceived in the picture. In this test, a total of 60 words are shown to the candidates. Each word is flashed on a screen for 15 seconds. The candidate is required to write down the first thought or idea that comes to his mind on seeing the word in the space provided during the 15 seconds he has before the next word is flashed. This test consists of 60 routine life situations regarding day-to-day activities. The situations are printed in a booklet, and the candidate is asked to write his reactions by completing the sentences as to how he would feel, think and act in these situations. 30 minutes are given to candidates to write down their reactions to all the 60 situations in the booklet. The last in the battery of psych tests is self-description. Each candidate is given 15 minutes and is asked to write 5 separate paragraphs on each context covering his self-description.
The interviews will continue into the afternoon and evenings of day 2, day 3 and day 4. You will be interviewed only once and will be informed well in advance about the time and place.
The atmosphere throughout the interview is relaxed and informal. The questions are generally based on your everyday experiences and relating to your work, education, family, and spare time activities, hobbies, and interests.
Gentlemen, unless slated for your interviews, which shall be informed to you, all afternoons are free. You can use this opportunity to visit places of interest, shop, and indulge in recreating activities, or simply relax. Let us move on to day 3 and the group testing.
On the third day, it is a blitzkrieg of action at the group testing grounds. Against time and some physical stress, the behavior pattern is inferred by the actions of the candidates in a group. Here, the primary concern is to see how you face up to the obstacles in the task allotted and your attitude towards other members of the group, both when working with them or while directing them. You will be provided with sketchboards, ladders, ropes, planks, poles, and other such things as your tools to help you in the assigned task. You are given a few minutes to form a plan and thereafter execute the task within the given time frame. The battery of GTO tests consists of 9 test-oblique tasks, which includes to start with group discussion, group planning exercise, progressive group task, group obstacle race, half group task, lecturate, individual obstacles, command task, and finally the final group task. Balance of the GTO tests and remaining interviews are conducted on day 4. Before leaving the testing area, you will be debriefed by the GTO. He will also explain the procedure to be followed at the board conference on day 5.
The board conference is the final event of the 5-day testing process. During the board conference, which is chaired by the president or deputy president, all the assessors, that is the GTOs, IOs, and psychologists who assessed you, will be in attendance. Each candidate is discussed in detail by the 3 assessors who examined his demonstrated performance over the specific technique independently to arrive at a consensus of manifest personality. An intricate process of debate, validation, and counter-validation is undertaken at times to arrive at the final decision. The ultimate mantra being that the winner shall always be the organization, and all debates are settled in the best interest of the organization. Candidates will then be asked to appear individually before the board.
After all the candidates have appeared before the board and the results have been compiled, the technical officer of the board will announce the results. Candidates who fail to make the cut are seen off at the railway station. All those who are recommended by the board stay on for the medical examination. The medical examination itself can take anywhere up to a week.
The armed forces today provide an attractive option to the women of India to embrace a profession that is both challenging and rewarding. Women are also assessed with the same 5-day program in keeping with the spirit of equality between genders. Some guidelines for women candidates are: